It's your boy Mr. KG coming back at you with another Mr. KG chat. Alrighty, right now I'm cool. A little strapped on time, okay? I just want to get the intro of the video a little bit in there and maybe even come up with a little bit of a topic of what to talk about. Sorry, I talk really fast. My teeth looking better? I've been wearing my retainer a little more. I've been forgetting the last couple nights, you know what I mean? But it happens, you know? I noticed I got one more subscriber, which we're climbing up there, but slowly. Okay, we're getting views on the shorts. And if you're watching a short right now, go ahead and go check out the actual video, okay? If you like the short, you're gonna like the video, alright? Now, take another moment, like, subscribe, let me know what you're doing today. Let me know how you're doing today. Let me know if you've eaten anything. Let me know if you've taken anything like that, alright? Give me video ideas. Let me know if you hated the video, liked the video, alrighty, all that stuff. Okay, now with all that good stuff out of the way, we're gonna get on to a nice little chat, alrighty? Now, we're gonna have to go to work and then, you know, just all that usual stuff that we always do, right? Now, one thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was an hour of your life worth, okay? I'm not sure if that was a good transition or not, okay? I was late, okay? I had to go to work. Well, I was not late, but I had to go to work and I didn't realize I had to get gas, so, you know, whole little thing, okay? But we're here, we're talking about it, all right? And as I'm sitting here waiting to go into work, as you can see, I got my timer on. I'm just sitting here thinking, right? What is an hour of your time worth to you, right? Now, obviously, the older you get, the more your time's gonna be worth to you, right? You're gonna, like, if you have more skills. I mean, there's obviously still people who are 45 working at McDonald's or Burger King or wherever they work, you know, and they're still getting their money, right? But like I've talked about before in a previous video, you know, the American dollar is going down more and more. You know, that $16 isn't going to be worth as much as it is, you know? Now, like, if you're just living with your parents trying to save money like me, it's good, you know? You're getting your money and you can save up some money until, you know, you finish your school or get school started or whatever. You know, it's crazy. You got to trade in your life for work. And I feel like your life is, like, the most valuable currency that you can have in general. You know what I mean? Like, what else would you trade your life for? Obviously, like a lot of people, me personally, like early days when I was younger, I've spent a lot of time on worthless Roblox games, you know what I mean, that I'm never going to go back to. Now, did I have fun? Maybe, but also a lot of times I wanted stats and, like, you know, like, to be, like, better or whatever, you know what I mean, and it just went nowhere. Like, I'm not playing those games ever again, right? Or, like, obviously, like, there's just, like, online games or, like, Fortnite. I spent so much time on Fortnite, money on Fortnite, and I'm probably never gonna play that game again unless something super, super crazy gets my attention, you know what I mean? And it's just like, damn, you know, I was just thinking, like, I spent hours of my life on Fortnite playing it, and then I also spent hours of my life on Fortnite with my money, right? Or just anything, you know what I mean? A lot of times, your money is your time and your time is your money, and you always see that growing up in, like, movies and stuff. Time is money, you know, and you always think it's like a joke, right? But it's really not. Your time is your money and your money is your time, and if you run out of money, yeah, I guess you're running out of time, right? Or you just, like, you have time to look for ways to find money, you know? I mean, it all comes full circle one way or another. Don't mind my chapped lips, I know you're noticing it, okay? But, yeah, it's just, like, insane to me in a way, you know? Like, we used to be a trade system. I give you this for that, wheat for corn, corn for dick for ass, you know? And it's just, yeah, I got you laughing a little bit. I made you giggle. But, anyways, it's just so absurd to me that we have just put a value on this currency that now we trade the most valuable thing ever for, you know? And let's say you make $20 an hour or something like that, right? And you divide that, that's what, $10, like $5 every 30 minutes, right? Or something like that. I don't know, I did the math quick, right? And, like, every 10 minutes you're making like $1.25 or some shit. That's even harder math. I'm not breaking out the calculator for it, right? And you're spending a minute on your life, like a couple minutes, like every 5 minutes in your life on $1. And that dollar does not get you shit. It all has to add up to actually be able to buy you something. You know what I mean? And it's like, we put this value on this thing and we can't even hold the value of it. It just keeps going down. You know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna do about it? I mean, obviously there's people trying to get into the trades. I mean, me personally, cybersecurity and ethical hacking, gotten a peak in my interest. Obviously the money, it's gonna go up. That's another thing you gotta look for when you, like, are looking for a job, right? Or not even just like a part-time, you know, like entry-level job, whatever. You're not gonna be there for the rest of your life, hopefully. I hope you guys aren't. You gotta use it as a stepping stool, right? Year or two is okay, but 10, you shouldn't be at McDonald's for 10, 20 years. Okay, I'm sorry. Even if you're a manager, okay, look, that's when you start going to school and getting your life together, all right? Even depending on, no matter where you are, right? Now you die, but you get a little bit extra pay. That's basically how it is, okay? This is gonna be a weird, choppy video, I'm sorry. But the thing about that is you gotta make sure, you gotta watch the job retention rate, or like the turnover rate, or like you gotta see, are you gonna be able to get a job in your area, or you're gonna have to move in that career, you know what I mean? Like, if there's no cybersecurity jobs for me here, I'm gonna have to move. You know what I mean? It's just how it's gonna have to be, right? Now, obviously, there's gonna be like IT stuff and stuff like that, and I'm gonna be able to know about ethical hacking, whether I use it in my field or not, or I just go into cybersecurity. But that's also a thing about it. You don't go to school for specifically that thing. A lot of your degrees can apply to other jobs in that field. You know what I mean? And those jobs that can make you more money. Like, obviously, you want to enjoy your work, right? Don't work your love, because then that love becomes a hate, because you hate doing it every single day because you have to, right? When your mom tells you to do the dishes, you don't want to do them, but sometimes you want to do the dishes, right? But the second you want to, she tells you to do it, you're like, I want to do, but now I don't. You know what I mean? But that's just the thing about it. You gotta lock in, and you gotta do your research a little bit if you're gonna choose a career. Like, obviously, it's something you like, look into the actual things you have to do. It's probably not just checking on animals and stuff like that, you know, or whatever it is, or like if you're a veterinarian or something like that, you know, or anything like that. Also, you got to look at like yearly wages, how much you're getting paid an hour on average. Are you able to grow within this, you know, are you able to go up, or like what are, like, depending on the degrees, are you gonna be able to be a manager of something, or stuff of that sort. Okay, now I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this later, but I've hit my time limit for now. We'll see you guys in a minute. My Digi Dodgers, my Mr. KG homies. Okay, now we are back. All right, we're on a break, and after trading my very valuable time for a measly $16 an hour, okay, we're back with some more thoughts. All right, now drop down in the comments below, you know, what would you trade an hour of your life for? What is an hour of your life worth? Whether it's 10 carts, $5, $10, $69, you know, any of that stuff, okay? And just, you know, drop down below as well, what's your dream job? All right, I just want to know. But back on the whole rant I was on, you know, I just think it's so crazy that we are so stingy over a lot of our belongings even, you know what I mean? When it's like, oh, I paid for this, but it's like, man, you gotta be stingy about your time. I know you gotta put in the time to get the money, but like, you gotta figure it out in a way, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta make it to where you don't have to train it as much time. You gotta make more money for that time, right? Like I'm saying, you gotta make your time more valuable. When you're at a $15 an hour job, and you know, obviously, if you're a teenager and you have no qualifications, that's as valuable as you can get, or a 16, that's as valuable as you're gonna get until you get a little more qualifications or experience or anything else like that under your belt, right? Now, depending on who you are, obviously, like if you're just going to use it as a little building block and going to go into your career soon, you're not going to be the general manager of a Arby's, you know what I mean? But like, it's just going to roll out like that. You're going to get out of it, and you're going to, you know, go into your next career after doing some school or something like that. And everybody says you don't need college, and you know, in some instances you really don't need college, right? You could just figure it out, or you start making money through other ways. A lot of people make money online, you know? But how long is that gonna last is the thing, you know what I mean? So like, even if I was to blow up and start making a ton of money off YouTube, I'm still probably gonna go to school for what I want to do, you know? And it's just more of what if I fall off one day, or if I don't make enough money to, you know, retire or something, or what if we go on to some Star Wars, money goes to credits and it's all rebellion stuff, you know? Let's mark the words right now. If money changes into some weird stuff that's not other than just like online, if it's like weird stuff, you know what I mean? Like some Star Wars, like I was saying, I'm marking it right now, I called it, okay? Now, the thing about all of that is, it kind of reminds me of this one, I think it was World War II or one of the wars, okay? And it was in Germany, and they had piles and piles and piles of money. And a lot of the kids were just messing with the money. They were burning the money, like, they were just throwing it everywhere, playing in it, you know, and it's because their money was basically below zero. It was like 16 cents a dollar. You know, if I don't even think it was worth anything, to be honest, since they're burning it, you know. So the thing about that is that they printed so much money to try to recover their debt that just went down because there was so much of their money in circulation, right? And the thing about this is we have a lot of debt. We're spending more money. We're not, I mean, obviously taxes are kind of effing everybody in the A right now, you know what I mean? So it's just gonna be us just printing some more money, and that's why our money is going down, you know what I mean? If we have more money in circulation, more dollars in circulation, and you know, the more money we have, the more it goes down. And that's just the crazy part about it, you know? I mean, somebody left a comment on one of my videos. It was, you know, just make sure you invest, buy things that make you money, and, you know, just make sure you just figure it out, basically, right? That's the short of it. And I was like, dang, I might have to start implementing that. Like, no AI responses or anything like that. I'm really gonna have to start implementing that into, like, my life, or, like, you know, into the plan. You know what I mean? Because I always thought about, oh, making money through a job. And I've thought about, you know, passive income or stuff like that, but I never thought about just, like, straight up making or buying things that'll make you money, right? And the first thing that comes to thought on something like that is more of like an accountant who would invest stuff for you, who went to school for all that stuff, and who's gonna make you money with your money instead of you trying to learn and losing money in the first place, right? Now, obviously, you're not gonna be guaranteed getting any money, but that's just how it's gonna work, okay? Now, I don't know. I just think it's a very crazy thing how we've evolved, and, you know, who knows, it could be evolving again, you know, because money used to be placement for gold. Now gold's a whole different thing. People use it for jewelry, everything like that, you know. I mean, maybe there was gold tooth back in the West, but I doubt people had, like, gold grills and stuff like that, you know. I mean, we use crazy stuff for diamonds and all this stuff that we used to, you know, use back in the day for completely different things. So I don't know, I just think that's pretty crazy. But without further ado, this is probably gonna be the end of the video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos, okay? If you're watching on the shorts, you know, go on and come back. I'm not sure if I'm gonna clip this part or not, but go on to the video, check it out, okay? But yeah, just make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment, you know, support the channel, help us grow. We're at 208 subscribers at the moment of recording, okay? So yeah, we're gonna see you guys later.